Hello, Lloyd. Your partners want the paperwork Canby gave you.
They're gone.
I'll just take what you hid in the candlestick.
Why? So you can kill me like you killed Canby? No. Listen to me, Baroni. When you broke the door, you set off a silent alarm. The security patrol will be here any second.
Lloyd. I'd tell you to grow up, but you're not going to get the chance.
Mr. Eastland? Caltrans Security. Mr. Eastland.
Hey, what are you doing up there? Stop! Hold it! Who are you?
So you always unlock the church at dawn, Father?
Morning mass starts at 6 a.m., Sergeant, every Monday through Friday.
St. Michael's has a lot of working parishioners, Sergeant.
So what happened?
Well, I opened up the front door and I saw someone stealing a candlestick.
Get a look at the thief?
He was too far away for an accurate description. He was big. That's all I could see. But I can tell you that his name is Martin Kowecki and that he works in a machine shop just a few blocks from here.
Frank, if you didn't really see the guy, then how do you know who he is?
Elementary, my dear Steve. Look.
Oil.
And over here.
Metal shavings.
Same kind of metal shavings you'd find in a machine shop.
Or a garage.
So how does this lead you to this guy Kowecki?
I'll show you. He ran out this door, leaped over the railing, and left his footprint there in the dirt. Judging from the direction of the print, I'd say he must have fled down the alley.
Well, that makes sense.
I measured the footprint, judging from its size and its depth. I would say that the man is about 6 feet tall, a little more, weighs about 200 pounds, wears a size 13 shoe.
Big guy, like you said.
I still don't see how that gets you his name and address, Father.
The footprint, Clancy.
There's a name in here. E-L-L-I-S Shoes. Ellis Shoes.
After I phoned you to report the robbery, I called Ellis Shoes, and they told me they only had one distributorship in this neighborhood, and that's Lakeshore Bootery.
And you called Lakeshore Bootery.
The manager told me that he has only sold one pair of Ellis work boots, size 13, in the last few weeks to one Martin Kowecki, and Kowecki gave a residential hotel as his address. I called the hotel, and they said that he worked in a machine shop over on Broadway.
Got it. Let's go. No sirens. You know, Father, sometimes you're a regular Sherlock Holmes.
Well, thank you, Clancy.
Frank,
Hmm?
I have to ask, if you're Sherlock Holmes, am I Dr. Watson? Clancy just called. They arrested Kowecki at the machine shop.
Did they find the candlestick?
But they're getting a search warrant for his apartment. Clancy really owes you one this time, Frank.
I just used a little deductive reasoning, Steve, that's all.
Now, don't be modest. You sold Sergeant Clancy, you know how hard she is to convince. And besides, the guy fits the description just like you said.
Wonder why he wanted that candlestick. Wait! Hold it! Stop!
Frank,
What?
you want me to call Clancy?
No, I'll do it. But I'm telling you, Clancy, that the thief that Steve and I chased away a few minutes ago has got to be the man who stole our candlestick from church this morning. And since you've got Martin Kawecki in custody, he can't be the thief. That's right, he's innocent. Whatever you say, Clancy. She'll be by later on for a statement. Steve, I never heard her so angry before. But she's right. I made a terrible mistake.
They're gonna let Kawecki go?
Yeah, he'll be free as soon as they process his papers. Steve, I've got to go talk to him. I have got to let him know how sorry I am. Excuse me, do you know if Martin Kawecki is around?
Yeah, he works here?
Not anymore, he don't. I'm Kawecki. Let me just guess who you are, right? You're the priest who had me arrested.
Yes, I am. I came by to apologize for any difficulty I may have caused you.
Okay, fine. You apologize. Goodbye.
Well, I just really wanted to apologize to you.
Terrific, okay? All right, that makes everything okay.
Look, Father Dowling made a mistake, all right? He's sorry about it, so why don't you just give him a break?
Oh, like he gave me a break, right? Hey, let me explain something to you, okay, Father? I'm an ex-con. I had to sweat blood to get this job. Now, my boss told me if I get into any trouble, he'd give me the axe. Well, he just did it.
But you're innocent.
Hey, all he cares about is the cops waltzed in here and they arrested me, okay? As far as he's concerned, where there's smoke, there's fire. So, thanks. Thanks for everything.
Mr. Kawecki, maybe if I spoke to your boss.
No, okay? You've done enough already. You know the thing that really burns me? You're a priest.
Frank?
Oh, Father Dog, I'm so glad you're here. I need your advice.
Not now, Phil.
Oh, this will only take a second. The bishop has asked me to select a retreat house for the annual diocesan prayer weekend. Well, I can't decide between St. Crispin's in Evanston and the Blessed Name Monastery outside Michigan City.
Father Prestwick, Father Dowling has a lot on his mind.
I followed every principle of deductive reasoning. I examined the evidence. I drew conclusions. I weighed those conclusions against objective fact.
That's right, Frank. You did what you always do.
What are we talking about?
Father Dowling, I've got your lunch about ready.
You know, far be it from me to criticize Frank.
Then don't.
But in my opinion, one can rely far too heavily on reason and logic. I mean, the mind is a highly fallible tool. Look at me. Reason tells me that St. Crispin's Retreat House in Evanston is much closer to Chicago, and thus, from a logistics point of view, much more advantageous. Logic, however, points out that the Blessed Name Monastery has a larger kitchen, which can be an important consideration over a long summer weekend. Which would you pick, Frank?
I don't know, Phil. You make the choice.
What about lunch?
I'm not hungry, Marie. I'll be in church.
Where do we start, Frank?
Where do we start what, Steve?
Where do we start looking for the real thief? What's our next step?
There is no next step. Steve, I can't play detective with innocent people's lives.
Come on, Frank, you made an honest mistake.
Martin Koecki is out of a job because of my mistake. Who do I think I am, Sherlock Holmes? Here. You better take this. I'm finished with it.
Your missile?
No, it's not my missile. It's my second favorite book. At least it used to be.
Father, darling, I thought you went up to bed hours ago.
Couldn't sleep, Marie.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I just fixed myself a glass of warm milk. If you want, I'll get you one.
No, thanks. My body's ready for sleep. It's my mind that can't find rest.
I bet you're worried about that man the police arrested by mistake.
By my mistake, Marie.
Father, darling, my first husband, Mr. Sweeney, he was a traveling salesman. Mr. Sweeney used to say, you won't make a sale every door you knock on, but if you never knock on a door, you'll never make a sale.
Marie, you lost me.
Father, you can't be right all the time. And if you don't allow yourself to make a mistake, you'll never be right some of the time.
A mistake like I made, Marie, can ruin an innocent man's life. And I'm not certain that's a responsibility I want to face anymore.
Well, don't stay up too late.
I won't. Good night, Marie.
Good night, Father.
Who's there? Who are you? How did you get in here?
In a way, my good sir, you brought me here. As for who I am, you know my methods, Father. I suggest you employ them.
You're Sherlock Holmes.
Elementary, my dear darling.
This is a practical joke, isn't it?
I assure you it is not.
You look like him, and you act like him.
My dear darling, I am not like anyone. I am myself. I am, in fact, precisely whom I appear to be. Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, but Sherlock Holmes is a fictional character. You can't be him. You can't be here.
Yet I am here.
Well, how is that possible?
You summoned me.
I did.
Not perhaps by conscious thought. Yet you sought my counsel, as you have so many times before. But this time, there was a difference.
What difference?
You must have heard it said that certain fictional characters are so real to their readers that they come alive.
Yes.
Your belief in my deductive methods, and me, made me real. But yesterday, your faith in my methods was shaken.
More than that. Wait a minute. Are you saying that if I stop believing in you, you'll cease to exist?
Precisely. And that is why I'm here. to help restore your belief in my methods and me, as well as solve this case. Now, this investigation presents several aspects of interest. In fact, it possesses certain similarities to the West End candlestick murder.
I don't remember that one.
But that is not surprising, since Dr. Watson rarely chose to chronicle my failures.
So, this is your chance to solve a mystery that you failed to solve before.
You may view it in that manner if you wish.
I can't believe I'm having this conversation. I must be going out of my mind.
If you are, Father, I would hardly be the proper authority to assure you otherwise. Now, where is your inkwell?
I don't have an inkwell.
My dear darling, how do you propose to write without ink?
Well, it's a little difficult to explain. You see...
Hi, Marie. I heard you called while I was out for a run. What's up? Who's he talking to?
That's why I called you, sister. Nobody.
What do you mean, nobody?
You heard me, nobody. You listen for yourself.
I still have the other one.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Frank.
Steve, Marie. I suppose you're wondering...
Were you talking to somebody on the phone just now, Frank?
On the phone? No, I was, somebody on the phone. Yes, that's right. Steve, last night before I went to bed, I locked the candlestick in the sacristy. Would you get it for me, please?
Sure, Frank.
Marie! Is Father Dowling there? I have some more brochures for the diocesan prayer retreat.
He's busy.
You know what I'm thinking?
Well, who's he talking to?
Nobody.
All right, it's just a guess. But what else have we got? The thief stole one candlestick yesterday morning, and then came back for the other yesterday afternoon. Now, why? What's so important about a candlestick?
Not just any candlestick, darling. Ask yourself, what is important about this particular candlestick?
Well, so far, I haven't the faintest idea. Well, maybe it has some sentimental value for the thief. Maybe he just likes candlestick items.
Hello, sister.
Hello, Father.
Ah, hello, Frank.
Hi, Phil. Oh, Steve, I need to talk to you privately for a minute. Would you excuse us, please, Phil? You see that? Hello. There's something in here.
What is it?
Looks like some kind of a business card with numbers on the back. Steve, where do we get these candlesticks?
From Mrs. Lupino from the Altar Society. Remember, Frank, she bought a whole dining room set a month ago at an estate auction?
Yeah. She didn't want the candlesticks, so she donated them to St. Michael's. Do you think you can find out what auction house Mrs. Lupino bought them from?
Sure, I'll get her number and give her a call.
Are you here? Lupino told you that somebody broke into her place,
Yeah, a couple of nights ago.
but nothing was stolen.
No, but she said whoever did it went through the letters in her desk.
Letters? Steve, I wrote Mrs. Lupino a letter thanking her for the candlesticks.
Well, that must be how the thief knew to find him at St. Michael's.
Let's talk to the auctioneers.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next item is a lovely example of late 19th century woodcraft. Opening bid is $2,000.
Frank.
$2,000. Do I have $2,000, please?
Excuse me, could I get some information?
Do I have $2,000, please? Yes, I have 2,000. 2010, thank you.
2020.
I guess we just have to wait.
Do I have
No, Father, we're leaving right now.
I'm gonna make a little trade. You for the candlestick. I'm leaving with him. You go home and wait for my call. You call the cops, he's dead. Now, no fuss. Just back up nice and easy.
$10,000.
Excuse me, sister. The bid is $2,600.
Didn't you just say that it was a marvelous piece of workmanship? Isn't it worth $10,000?
That isn't the point. The bid is $2,600. I have 2,600.
20,000.
What?
Well, if she can bid 10, I can bid 20.
Yeah, if he can bid 20, I can bid 30.
Excuse me.
30, 40,000.
50,000.
Excuse me.
60,000.
70 cents, and that's my last and final offer. Take it or leave it.
Father, sister, if you don't mind, please show them the way out.
Come on, Father. Let's go.
Frank, that was the guy we saw running out of St. Michael's.
Whoever he is, thank heavens he's gone. Steve, we're not any closer to finding out where those candlesticks came from. And those auctioneers are probably never going to talk to us again.
Maybe they don't have to.
Hmm?
A resourceful companion, your sister Stephanie. She reminds me of Watson, the night we pursued Jonathan Small and his Cayman Island friend up the Thames. Good man with a pistol, John Watson. He was an army doctor in Afghanistan before he took a Jezile bullet in his shoulder. Or was it his leg? I've never been sure. Pity Watson married. He was an excellent companion. As indeed are you, darling.
Thank you, I think. Holmes, what are you doing here?
Helping you. Now, I fear this calling card presents few opportunities for an exercise in deductive observation. Obviously, these numbers represent an arithmetical code of some sort, but...
Are you sure?
My dear darling, of course I'm sure. I wrote a monograph on the deciphering of arithmetical codes. But this is, I must admit, for the moment at least, incomprehensible.
But what about the card itself?
But indeed. You know my methods. Does the handwriting suggest anything to you?
I'm not sure.
Great heavens, man, try. You were quite good at this once.
Well, the man who wrote this is European, or at least was schooled in Europe. See, he uses the Continental 7 with the bar across the stem.
Yes. He's middle-aged, recently recovered from a mild stroke, wears glasses, wrote by artificial light, and in great haste. You see these last few numbers, they run together. Other than those obvious points, I can infer nothing.
Well, this may be obvious to you, but it's not to me. No, I'm not discouraged. I'm just frustrated. Gotta figure this thing out.
Well, they have a very neat filing system in there. The candlesticks are from the Lloyd Eastland estate. I have the address of his widow.
Well, maybe she can tell us what's so important about this business card and those candlesticks, huh?
Frank,
Hmm?
just now it looked like you were talking to somebody.
You did?
Yeah, it did. But there's nobody there, Frank. Is there something going on that you want to tell me?
Steve, I'll explain everything to you just as soon as I can. In the meantime, all I can ask you to do is to please trust me.
I always have, Frank.
Those candlesticks weren't the only thing I sold, Father. I had to auction off almost everything Lloyd left me to pay off his debts.
I'm sorry.
You sold everything?
Well, our stocks and bonds, most of our furniture, and I've even had to put this house on the market. I really had no choice. Unfortunately, Lloyd didn't believe in insurance.
What kind of business was your husband in that he owed so much money, if you don't mind me asking?
Lloyd was an investment counselor. He arranged funding for new companies.
What kind of companies?
Oh, he worked with computer designers, chemists, engineers.
Pretty high tech?
Yes, well, Lloyd used to call them men of vision. Those men of vision went broke, but Lloyd never lost faith.
Mrs. Eastland, we think that the thief who killed your husband was the same man who stole your candlestick from St. Michael's Church.
Well, that's very interesting, Father, but what's the connection?
I'm not sure. Does this number mean anything to you?
No, I'm sorry. I'm afraid it doesn't.
Do you mind if we have a look at your husband's records?
Oh, well, there are some of these boxes and in the desk, and the rest I've boxed for storage. You're welcome to take a look.
You go ahead, Steve. I'll take the desk. Huh?
Right through here.
Holmes, you're making this very difficult for me.
Yes, yes. Darling?
Look at this. Chi-Town Motors.
Aha.
Aha. Mrs. Eastland, did your husband know anyone at Chi-Town Motors?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I wasn't involved with Lloyd's business. I couldn't say.
Looks like a car dealership, Frank. Maybe it's time the parish got a new car.
Maybe. Oh, would you mind sending your husband's files over to St. Michael's Rectory?
Might help us find the person who killed your husband.
I'll send them over this afternoon.
Just out of curiosity, was your husband educated in Europe?
Why, yes.
Did he wear glasses, and had he recently recovered from a mild stroke?
Yes, Father. How did you know that?
Deductive reasoning. Goodbye, Mrs. Eastland.
Goodbye.
Thanks for everything.
No problem. And good luck with whatever it is you're looking for.
Here, look at this. Doesn't look as if they do much business around here, does it?
The way they keep their cars, I'm not surprised.
What sort of dealings would a visionary like Eastland have to do with a rundown operation like this? Steve, I'd like to get a look inside that office.
Got it covered, Frank. Hi.
Hi.
Good tires. Good car. Good terms. How about a test drive?
Can't.
Why not?
Won't run. Well, nice talking to you, sister.
What about this one here?
Bad axle.
How about that one?
No headlights. Well, the truth is we lost Denny Canby, our head mechanic, a couple of months ago. Now the place is falling apart.
Let's just try it.
Sister, I'm telling you, this car is a lemon.
You know, my Uncle Jack always said, when the world gives you a lemon, you make lemonade.
Lemonade? What are you doing?
Fasten your seatbelt.
Piloting one of those vehicles seems an absurdly complicated procedure, darling. And to what end? I mean, one shuts oneself inside a metal box, goes hurtling about the streets, frightening the horses and no doubt ruining the cobblestones.
Yeah, well, I don't drive myself. We should look for something with Eastland's name on it.
Darling, what's this?
Oh, that's a title slip for a car. The slip shows who owns a particular automobile. It's a form of identification.
Yes, I understand that, darling, but look at this number. Does it remind you of anything?
Well, that's a vehicle identification code.
15 digits. Mostly numbers with letters in this position here and here. Think, darling.
The number on the back of this business card that we found in the candlestick. It's a vehicle ID code.
When do you think you'll be done?
Well, it's kind of hard
say, Mr. Gable. You know, most of these wrecks, you gotta tear down the whole engine before you can even see what's what.
Where's Stu?
Your salesman? Oh, he took a friend of mine for a test drive. That must be her now.
Werner, get out there, find out what Stu thinks he's doing.
You got it, Mr. Gable.
Larry Gable, Father. This is my shop. I'd love to sell you a car, but we're having a little trouble with our inventory.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm Father Dowling from St. Michael's Church. I got the name of your dealership from Lloyd Eastland.
I heard Lloyd passed away.
Yes, he was murdered. The police think a burglar did it.
My God. How awful.
But it's beginning to look like there's much more to it than that. You and Mr. Eastland did business together?
Lloyd arranged financing for an expansion I was planning a couple of months ago. Unfortunately, the deal fell through.
Well, I thought he only funded high-tech companies.
So?
Well, forgive me, but a used car dealership isn't exactly high-tech. What kind of expansion were you planning?
Father, my business with Lloyd Eastland is none of your business.
Mr. Gable, can you think of a reason why someone would want to kill Lloyd Eastland?
Maybe he asked too many annoying questions. Goodbye, Father.
You should be all set.
Stu. Warner.
Bye.
Steve.
That's the guy from the church. What's he doing here?
Elementary, my dear sister Stephanie, elementary. Because he had something that somebody wanted. And what did he have? A vehicle ID number on the back of a business card. What's important about a vehicle ID number? It identifies an automobile.
And what could be important about one particular vehicle?
I don't know.
Dowling, what is a powertrain?
I have no idea.
Gear ratio?
I don't know.
Fuel injection?
Wait a minute. I think all those things have something to do with an automobile.
Aha. Lloyd Eastland arranged financing for inventors. These papers among his files refer to automobile parts and tests. Might not one of Eastland's inventors have done something to an automobile that could increase its value?
I wouldn't know.
Look at this, Dowling.
Inventor found in apparent suicide. Steve, this clipping was in one of the files that Lloyd Eastland's widow sent over. Listen to this. Inventor found in apparent suicide. Dennis Canby, holder of 3 patents for technical improvement in automotive design, was found dead of gas asphyxiation near his home in Lincoln Park today.
At the time of his death, Canby was developing a new high-performance engine rated at 600 miles per tank of gas. In fact, this is dated just a couple of days before Eastland got killed.
Father Dowling, I want to talk to you about these brochures.
I'll clear the table.
Phil, I really don't want to talk about retreat houses now.
These aren't retreat houses, Frank. These are stress reduction clinics.
Clinics?
Mm-hmm.
Phil, these are sanitariums.
You have been under a great deal of strain, Frank. Now, the bishop agrees with me. You need a rest.
Do you think I'm having a nervous breakdown?
Let's just say you need your stress reduced.
Frank, you know, there was a guy named Canby who was head mechanic at Gable Motors.
Well, how would you know that?
Well, Stu, the salesman, he told me that everything fell apart after Canby left. He said that some of the cars don't run.
Steve, some of the cars won't run because Gable doesn't want them to run.
What? Frank, that doesn't make any sense.
Phil, would you excuse us, please? Dennis Canby was one of Eastland's men of vision.
Canby invented this new high-mileage car engine.
Gable wanted the engine, Canby wouldn't give it to him.
Therefore, Gable had Canby killed and made his death appear a suicide.
So Gable had Canby killed and made it look like a suicide.
Oh, she's very good, darling.
Yes, she is.
What?
Canby installed his enhanced engine in one of the cars on Gable's lot.
But he died before he told Gable which car it was in.
Yes, but Canby must have given Eastland the title slip, and Eastland wrote the vehicle ID number on the back of this card and then stuck it in his candlestick.
Come, darling. The game's afoot.
Steve, we gotta find that car.
Frank, before we go anywhere, you have been talking to somebody that nobody else sees. Now, I want to know what's going on, Frank.
Well, I've been getting a little help from a consulting detective.
Who?
Sherlock Holmes.
The Sherlock Holmes.
Is there another?
Steve, I know how this sounds, and I know it's almost impossible to explain. But he's here right now.
You sure about this, Frank?
Look, I don't expect you to understand or even believe this. It's just too fantastic. All I know is that before he appeared, I felt lost, and now I feel like I found myself again.
Frank, ever since you caught me shoplifting when I was 10 years old, you believed in me. You know, no matter what, no matter who else did, you believed in me. So I guess I can believe in you and Sherlock Holmes.
Thanks, Steve.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Holmes.
Actually, he's over here.
Yes, yes, very good. May we go now?
Let's go now.
Have you made a decision about those stress reduction resorts, Frank?
Well, as a matter of fact, Phil, I have.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, I've decided to reduce my stress right here. Marie, don't wait dinner for us. We'll be late. Steve, we have to find the car with this vehicle ID number.
The ID numbers are inside the windshield on the driver's side, Frank. So you take those, I'll take those over here, right?
Holmes! Get down!
Why?
Because somebody will see you.
I hardly think so. But if you don't take care, that man will certainly see you. Darling, isn't this the number we're looking for?
What? BC 943-8818-93227?
Excellent. Let us proceed.
What do you mean, proceed?
This car is the evidence we're looking for. We're taking it with us.
Frank?
Ah, marvelous.
Holmes, you can't drive a car.
Oh, we can hardly know that until I try, now can we, darling?
Oh, Lord.
Quite lively, I must say, darling, like a well-schooled filly. Slightest touch of the rein, and over she goes.
Holmes, you're gonna kill us both.
Nonsense, I think I'm driving her quite adequately.
brake down there.
I see it. And that will stop us?
That's the idea.
Not a very good one, though, I fancy, darling. If you'll be good enough to glance into that small looking glass up there, you'll observe that we're being pursued. And by the very boundaries...
Holmes!
Tell me, where did you say this braking apparatus is located?
Down there, down there!
Freeze! Hold it right there. Hold it!
Good afternoon, officers. I can understand where this looks very peculiar to you, and I'm going to try and explain, but you're going to have to be patient. Very patient.
The adventures of Sherlock Holmes, indeed. I cannot say I approve of Watson's approach to reporting the cases we shared. He attempts to tinge the exact science of detection with romanticism, which produces much the same effect as if he'd worked a love story into the fifth proposition of Euclid.
Deduction is not that exact a science. You know, sometimes we do make mistakes.
My dear darling, the only fatal mistake a man may make is the mistake he fails to admit.
You've helped me more than you know.
And you have been some help to me, I must confess. Darling, my mind rebels at stagnation. Give me work. Give me the most abstruse cryptogram or the most intricate analysis, and I am in my own proper element. But I abhor the dull routine of existence, as I suspect do you.
Good evening, sir.
Where are we?
A few steps from Baker Street. My world, my age. And yours, too, if you wish.
Mine?
You belong here, darling. In a world simpler than the one you know. Here, where all difficulties disappear before the cold, hard beacon of a reasonable mind. Come with me, darling.
Father Dowling? Frank?
Perhaps another time.
As you wish. But by heaven, it would have been wonderful.
Well, come on, Steve. We got work to do.